Hi, I'm Sherry from Whole Circle Studio and welcome to our 6th Around the World Block of the Month destination. We're halfway through the 2021 tour. This month we're traveling to Rome, the capital of Italy. In this video, I'm going to share tips to help you piece your block. Block 6 features the Colosseum, an amazing structure that I had the opportunity to visit about 20 years ago. This symbol of Rome is almost 2,000 years old, and during the Roman Empire was known as the Flavian Amphitheater. This structure held more than 50,000 people, and in 2007, the Colosseum was named one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. In addition to this video, please be sure to refer to the tips included in the pattern, as well as the other links listed below, including paper piecing video tutorials and previous month's videos. Let's get started. There are a few steps in this pattern that I wanted to call special attention to. Take your time looking at the shading in the paper pieces and definitely use the fabric swatch chart found in your pattern before sewing. If you're using the same 3-color scheme that I'm using, the tag background and the arches for the top half of the block, including the tag hole piece, is different than the bottom half. You can see this by the shading, the lighter gray shading in the top half and the darker shade grading in the bottom half. Also, this is a great block to work what I call assembly style. All of the arches are assembled similarly, making it easy to piece all of the second sections at the same time, and then trim and press all of them and repeat the process for the third sections, and so on. If you're comfortable working this way, it makes the sewing, cutting, and pressing process much more efficient and quicker. In order to have nice rounded arches, there are a few small pieces. So just go slow as you have been while you've been working on the top of the tags in the previous blocks, and you'll be fine. You'll see in the pattern that once the pieces are sewn into rows, I recommend pressing the seams in opposite directions. So as an example, A through F is pressed in one direction and G through L is pressed in the opposite direction. And then I continue this alternate pressing direction scheme through M through O and P through S. By pressing in this manner, you can then nest the seams when joining these rows, making aligning the seams and aligning the arches much more accurate. You may decide to play around with the color and fabric arrangements and assignments and do something a bit different than what I suggested in the pattern. Here's an example of a block that I made that's a little bit more realistic to the Colosseum. I used a darker value in the arches of the structure fabric, and that made it look like you were looking into the darker Colosseum. For the arches at the top, I decided to use the same fabric as the background in the tag throughout, giving it a more transparent effect. One other thing to note about this version of the block I made here is the section with the hole tag. I used a different paper piece from one of the other Around the World blocks. Here is the paper piece that was assigned to Colosseum. And again, I wanted something with a couple of more angles to it. So if you haven't noticed already, all of these sections with the hole tag are interchangeable between all of the Around the World blocks. So you can mix and match your favorite shapes between your blocks. I also added a border to this block since I'm going to be turning it into a pillow, and I wanted it to be a little bit bigger to accommodate the depth of a pillow form. Thanks again for being here and sewing along with us. I can't wait to see your Colosseum blocks come together. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Also, be sure to share your progress on Instagram using the Around the World hashtags found on the pattern so we can check out what you're working on. See you next month and happy sewing.